Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Let's Play Warframe. I'm your host of the most, as always, Francois878, and today we are going to be talking about the Krohkur, the brand new Grineer sword introduced in Update 22, the Plains of Eidolon. You guys know what's going to happen. Basic stats, some build suggestions, and then my final thoughts and general opinions on the weapon. Now, first things first, for those of you who don't know, I am a Warframe partner, so I did receive this weapon for free to review. Now, the blueprint for this weapon is available from the marketplace for 25,000 credits. You do need to be a Mastery Rank 5 in order to wield it, so it's not too bad. Some basic stats: the total damage that this weapon will be dealing is 70, primarily in slash. It has a 29% crit chance, a 1.7 crit multiplier, a 19% status chance, and a 0.833 attack speed. So very, very nice crit chance. 29% is great. Absolutely Blood Rush body count viable. The status chance is a little low. You'll see in my build I don't really take full advantage of the status chance, but the crit multiplier at 1.7 is also a little low. And I'm not entirely sure why that is, because the description for the weapon is a little confusing. This hooked blade rewards critical hits to those skilled enough to strike with finesse. I don't know if that's just the description of the weapon and it's meaningless, or if that has a hidden code to suggest that if you hit enemies a certain way with the sword, they give your crits extra power. I'm not entirely sure. I have not been able to find anything online that would suggest that that's the case. So I'm going to go with the description being simply a codex entry and not actually affecting the overall gameplay of the weapon until I know otherwise. Now, the build that I'm showing off here is pretty basic. A pressure point instead of condition overload because of the weapon's subpar status chance, Blood Rush body count, and Berserker for your combo duration, your crit chance, and your attack speed. Now, I have two 90% elemental mods and two 60% elemental damage, 60% status chance mods. That is partially due to the fact I didn't want to have to Forma this weapon anymore. Honestly, the weapon comes with 0 polarities pre-installed, so you do have to start from scratch, and I had to add 2 to get those builds to work. I like the sword, I just I didn't like the sword that much. So if you guys want to add 2 more polarities onto that to get a straight 90% elemental damage mod build, you're more than welcome to do that. Like I said, 4 Forma onto the sword is a little much. It's a solid sword. It's a very respectable Blood Rush body count sword. It looks awesome. It's got a lot of that Grineer flavor to it, but it's also sleek and vicious looking, and with the right color scheme, you may not even realize that it is a Grineer weapon. So it's a great looking sword, and it definitely performs really well. The stance that I'm using is the Swooping Falcon, which is a new stance introduced in Update 22. I also received that from DE for free. I really like the stance. It's got a lot of really quick slashes that have a tendency to hit enemies from a lot of different angles. So if you're like me and you overshoot targets a lot, I will occasionally be bullet jumping and going to do a slide attack, and I'll miss because I'll have jumped too far. And so with this particular stance, I find that I can recover from that misstep much easier because of the way the slashes are. It's a solid stance, and it's a solid sword, both in design and stats. Is it going to be the next meta single-handed sword? No, probably not. I say that now, but watch, the the codex description will actually do something. My theory on that, if it does anything, which I'm not saying it is, my theory is that it enhances critical hits, which is new terminology added into the game as of Update 22. Basically, what enhanced crit hits means is that your critical hit basically gets bumped up to the next level. So a yellow crit will become an orange crit will become a red crit, and a red crit will become a redder crit. As you move up those crit tables, it adds another crit multiplier onto your critical hit. So it's another 1.7 times crit multiplier. That would make sense to me, being that the 1.7 is sort of low, especially with a 29% crit chance. You would think you'd want a reasonably respectable crit multiplier to go with that crit chance. So that's my theory. So, not saying it's true. Don't hold me to that. I don't want to see in the comments about it, because it's just a thought. Nothing serious. But that's going to be about it for the Krohkur. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think of the new sword in the comment section down below. Until next time, I've been your host with the most, as always, Francois878, signing off.